everybody. Welcome to YouTube or the podcast, depending on where you're listening to this.
So, Jake, what is the topic for today, November?
I don't want to talk about this. Today is about food guilt. We're going to dive into the guilt that we feel after we eat bad food.
Sounds like a very fun topic.
Yeah, what a great morning. What a way to start off my Tuesday.
No, it will be a fun topic. It'll be very helpful. And we're just shining light that guilt aspect is not something that you alone feel.
And also kind of looking into why it's a problem. That it seems like it might be, we might think that it's a good thing, that we're like, no, I should feel guilty because I'm eating things that I shouldn't eat. And that's going to help prevent it in the future. But we want to kind of analyze that and see if that really is the case.
So what is an example? Let's get vulnerable. What's an example of when you felt?
Oh, I know mine. I've got this week plan of like week long, not week like EAK, but a week EEK. And I've got this plan of like days where I'm gonna kind of indulge and days where I'm gonna eat healthy. And so on one of the healthy days, maybe I'll just have turkey and salad for dinner. And then I'm like watching TV or whatever, and it's getting kind of close now to the time I'm gonna go to sleep. But I'm like, I'm probably dreading tomorrow a little bit. I probably have a little bit in my mind of like, okay, this is gonna be hard tomorrow. And I'll go look and there'll be something in the freezer like some ice cream. And I'll think like, what I should do is probably just take a few scoops of this ice cream, put it in a bowl. But instead I just start eating it right out of the container. And then I always get caught with the same thing where I'm like, I like it the way it's melted around the edges and it's like too hard in the middle. And so then I get in there and I'm like, well, this is a really good bite, right? Around the edge. And then it's like uneven. And I'm like, well, let me just even it up. And before long, I'm like, there's only this much left in the bottom. At that point, I start realizing like, oh my gosh, the next thing I'm doing is brushing my teeth and going to bed. And my stomach, I'm like, gosh, Jake, if you would have just gone to bed, right, then you wouldn't be filled with all of this refined sugar and dairy and, all the stuff I don't want to be eating. And so then at that time, as I'm preparing for bed, I always run through what is my morning going to look like. And very often what happens is that I have planned mornings where I just do like yoga or stretching to sort of keep my body where it needs to be to progress in my age, right? As I get older, I just need a little more recovery, a little more stretching. And I just quickly sub that out. I'm like, well, I was going to stretch tomorrow, but now I'm running 2 miles.
Why run?
Because I just ate all that ice cream. I have to get rid of it. I'm like, I need to undo it, right? Like I feel guilty about it. And now I'm like, shoot, there's no way to go back and undo it. The best I could do is, I got to get up tomorrow morning and run because this can't count. I can't handle the guilt of this counting as a way that I ate today. What about you?
I think that's super relatable. One specific that comes to mind is when we were road tripping recently and we were going into Dunkin' Donuts and I was getting food, you weren't. I was getting a donut and an egg sandwich, but I had Dunkin' Donuts trash from the day before.
That's right.
And so I was feeling lots of shame of, oh man, I am eating so off my normal standard that I am going back and putting the trash away.
Throwing the Dunkin' Donuts trash from yesterday in the trash can of another Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely had some shame about that. I felt like I could be a dog with a tail in between its legs, just caught.
And so how'd that play out into your experience?
Well, then I had the thought, oh well, I'm eating this way on this road trip, so what else sounds good? I've already been so unhealthy, let's just continue this unhealthy train and see how bad I can feel in terms of indulging in food.
Nice. So we talk about this, and I really want to default to Whit because she's got way more experience on this. So the question that I have, that I think probably people watching this will have also, is it like, if I am trying to be healthy, there are bad foods in a way. Like there are foods, like refined sugar just comes to mind as like sort of a hot button issue right now these days. Like, oh gosh, you can't eat refined sugar or empty calories or, whatever. And so if I eat them, don't I have to feel guilty? Like, didn't I do something wrong? Like actual fact, data-driven wrong?
The definition of bad is a lower quality, a poor quality or lower standard. That's what it is. It's a poor quality or lower standard. So in order for bad to be correctly defined, we have to have a standard, our own standard. And so if you are just using someone else's standard for healthy, that's not serving you. So you actually aren't living in a bad or good realm. And stay with me, because I think that that's really important to just try on, that if
I'll never leave you. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm staying with you. Keep going.
If I haven't decided for myself what my body uses for fuel, for energy, if I don't know what food really energizes me so that I can do the things that I want to do in my day, then there are no bad and good, because I haven't set the standard for myself. And so all I'm doing is I am judging myself based on everyone else's standard that I haven't found out for myself, and it's leading me nowhere. What I like to do is propose that we get rid of this bad choice or good choice, and it's more of, when I eat something, how does that make my body feel? And sometimes I know that this food that I'm about to eat is gonna make my body, my stomach hurt, my head hurt, and I eat it anyway. But if I'm learning that, oh, donuts really don't do well with my body, then I can say, okay, that's a decision that I don't want to make, not I shouldn't make.
And so what about this feeling of guilt? Doesn't the feeling of guilt help me to do better in the future?
No.
Please explain.
If we lived our life just based on whatever, avoiding guilt, would that be a very fun life?
It sounds like it would be really difficult, because I would have to be perfect, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And so there would be a lot of pressure if my main focus was to avoid guilt.
Yeah.
By the things I do.
And you would be focused on what you don't want rather than what you want. And so to your question, does guilt help? No, it doesn't, because it's just focusing on what we shouldn't be doing, what we're doing wrong. And that feels awful. Like, nobody likes to feel guilty, yet we fall into the trap that if I feel guilty, then I won't do it. But if that was the case, then guilt would have made us all skinny and at our optimal health.
I agree. I can see, even as you're talking about this, that for myself, I see guilt. Guilt is me wanting to change the past. Guilt motivates me to take action in the future that somehow undoes the action I already took in the past. And so now my success is doing something out there that changes what happened back here, which is impossible. And so I can never achieve success. My run the next morning doesn't undo the ice cream that I ate the previous night.
Right.
What it does is prevent me from stretching and add an extra workout, which I've already trial and errored doesn't work for me. And so it's going to increase my knee pain from the run. It's going to increase my shoulder pain because I didn't stretch, and it's actually going to decrease my performance going forward in the future.
And you're not going to enjoy the run.
Yeah, all because I was chasing the past. Like my whole goal was impossible. It was to undo something that had already happened. And so it's kind of interesting, because yeah, I would say on the surface, guilt feels motivating because I did get out and run. But if I were being intentional, living an intentional life, guilt is actually undoing the plan that I had on a larger scale when I zoom out.
Yeah, and I think the bottom line is it's not a sustainable lifestyle. It's not giving us solutions to the real problem. And so the solution to the problem of eating ice cream at 10 is not to just go run and punish yourself, because you're going to only do that a couple times, and then you're going to say, well,
then I'm going to be hurt, then I'm going to be on the couch, and I'm going to be eating ice cream because I'm going to be trying to drown my sorrows.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it really didn't serve me very well.
I think it's really important to just show that food guilt is very common, so you're not alone. and that you're not obligated to it. It doesn't actually serve you. It harms us. And so how do we get rid of it? How do we switch food guilt, or I would say even like be free from food guilt?
For me, it takes a lot of courage is the first thing. Boldness, courage, whatever. I need to step in intentionally to this idea of saying, I'm not trying to say that ice cream at 9 p.m. is good for me. I'm not trying to say that. One philosophy doesn't have to be wrong for the other one to be right. You know, like I don't have to contradict what is data-driven results. What I want to be asking is, what gives me the best tomorrow morning? What gives me the best morning after that? And so then, instead of thinking like, oh, dang it, I've done everything wrong, and having my attention be on, no, I have to feel that I'm obligated to it because it is scientifically not great for my body to be eating refined sugar. Instead, kind of being like, no, but what's available to me in the present? What feeling in the present motivates the tomorrow that I'm after, helps me to show up there tomorrow. And so I would say that in the moment, the way that I switch out of guilt is I have the courage to stop measuring my actions by true versus false, right versus wrong, good versus bad, and instead measure them by what's going to serve me, what story about what happened, what thought, what belief is going to serve me going forward.
That's really good. I think one for me that aligns with that is, how do I want to feel an hour or two from now? Which my thinking was not available to me in the past, when I would binge eat or closet eat, and then I would feel so much guilt and shame. When I allowed myself to stop judging, have courage and stop judging myself, well, now I could ask myself better questions, like, how do I want to feel 2 hours from now? Just yesterday, I was at the store, and being pregnant, I have a lot of justifications as to, you know, all food is on the table, which I know,
literally on the table.
yeah, I've been eating a lot. But I was standing in front of the candy aisle at the checkout, and I was pondering about Sour Patch Kids. I knew in the moment it sounded really good, and I could justify that, hey, it's no big deal, let's get Sour Patch Kids. But I am in the habit of asking myself a better question. How will I feel an hour or two from now? And so it was just an easy no. It wasn't, no, that's a bad choice. No, you can't have it. You shouldn't have it. It was literally just, oh, yeah, I know that my stomach will hurt. And
if you did get the Sour Patch Kids, if she did get the Sour Patch Kids, now, like, after going through that, like, maybe she decided to get them and then her stomach does hurt and that guilt could show up. I love the way Tony Robbins says, I always succeed at producing an outcome. And then I get to ask myself, is that an outcome I want to repeat?
yeah,
And that's really all it is. Like,
super neutral.
all my decisions are right. They always produce an outcome. And then I get to ask myself, is that an outcome I want to produce again?
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant way of getting around the guilt and the shame from the, oh, I made a bad choice versus I made a good choice. It's just saying like, oh, there's an outcome. Do I like that outcome? Do I want to repeat that outcome? Why or why not? Awesome. Guilt is not, you're not obligated to guilt in order to get a different outcome.
Totally agree.
Super freeing.
I can't see, I've tried this before. I've tried to come up with an actual benefit to feeling guilt, and I have never been able to come up with one. Whether it's in mindset work or even looking into our faith. I've never seen Jesus act in such a way to cause guilt in someone. You know, he always is causing peace and joy and freedom and confidence. Yeah, and that, I think, kind of reaffirms for me that I'm not obligated to guilt. It's not something I need to have in order to grow big or recover from outcomes I don't want to repeat.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think guilt and condemnation are really similar. And condemnation is clearly something that Jesus talks about. You know, don't condemn yourself and don't condemn other people. I don't condemn you. So we have a free workshop coming up. Yeah.
We sure do, on this very topic.
ditch the food guilt.
And that is going to be on November 11th at 7 p.m. Central Time.
We want to help you learn how to fall in love with your eating choices, to feel a lot of freedom, a lot of confidence around food and what you choose, so you can create a lifestyle that allows health to be something that is maintainable, something that doesn't feel like a struggle or complicated.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on the 11th.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Ask Steadfast. Whit and I are super excited to use this avenue to sort of spread our message. And so it would mean a ton to us if you'd subscribe to this channel. Additionally, if you have any questions you'd like to see addressed in future episodes, whether serious or funny, we'd love to see those in the comments. So leave that in the comment below, and we'll see you in the next one.